Hi, we're here. Welcome to Bailey Barking, where Bailey barks the entire show. Um, it's going to be a very, very fantastic episode going into today. Um, you know the cast, you know who we are. We're going to go ahead and get into recap and then get this show on the road. Thank you, Frostbite, for J. Bruce Bork. Um, we last left off. All of the houses came together for the first time in many, many years for most people. But for this planet, it's been roughly about 4 years since the packs came together. That being said, a lot of the pack leaders finally spoke to each other, got an understanding, and Thrawn gave you guys each a house to represent due to your relationship with them over the last couple of weeks when you guys had just separate different meetings with each pack. As you guys were going ahead and beginning to ease in this area, you guys did go ahead and also take a rather large feast. And you guys were able to eat as Thrawn was able to speak to one of the guards, where the guard was able to talk to the leader of the Windclaws. And you guys were able to go into an armory that just regained power thanks to Otto and Freedom 11. After you guys went ahead and activated downstairs, gifts were given out. Some were declined a few times because they were not as good as the offers that were, or some of the gear that the team had. But mostly upgrades around. But was told not to be used unless absolutely necessary, and they would be in the vault once a plan was hatched to discuss exactly what everyone's next steps were and trying to find and uproot the swarm. And that is where we left off. It is the following day after you guys were able to go ahead and try on the different armors and different guns, practice with them. You guys wake up bright and early.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but for some reason I don't remember the houses being handed out. Was I happened? Did I was I given one?
You don't.
No, you are not an emissary. You are a considered bodyguard and overlook security.
That makes a lot more sense.
I
I was
learned
concerned for a minute.
Laka.
Yes. So just as a recap, Zurot is the emissary for the Swamp Hide. Ferrix is the emissary for the Iron Hides with the Kali as a bodyguard. Freedom 11 is the emissary for the Cold Claws. Domino is the emissary for the Night Stalkers. And Sunny is the emissary for the Wind Hides. The next morning, you guys are served breakfast. It is not nearly as extravagant as the feast was, but the food is still delicious nonetheless, very well cooked. Actual substance compared to a magical pill that has been created by a certain mystic. After everyone eats, you guys are all rounded up by Nash and requested to come to the office where you guys can go ahead and discuss with the rest of the leaders on what the next step is.
When did everyone arrive?
Everyone arrived yesterday, so you guys had the large feast. Or actually, no, it would have been earlier this morning because I was thinking you guys actually had the feast, rested, and then were woken up right before you guys went to bed, you guys went to the vault. The next day, all the tribes got there. So it's really early in the morning. You guys have eaten, but you guys will want to go ahead and have that meeting as soon as possible.
Preparing for the upcoming meetings, I'm going to wear my armor. And I'm going to polish it real nice. Try to get a good look going for me.
You take it off?
Yeah, it's heavy armor. Very comfortable.
He wants to sleep comfortably.
I'm also wearing heavy armor.
Yeah, I pretty much sleep in my armor, but it's not heavy.
Same. Until we are back
I'm
in a
gonna
ship that we consider our
practice
own.
my Blocka accent.
You guys barbarians. Living
I'm
in
gonna
your
prep so I
dirty-ass
don't
armor all
sound
day.
like a dumbass because, you guys know me, but not super know me, so gotta look good.
I'm going to be stereotypical and grab my breakfast to go and start doing my perimeters.
As you go ahead and start doing your perimeter, again, you do see when you go up to the roof, you are met with 5 other snipers on that one roof, and then every roof within eye shot of the Capitol building that you guys are staying in has a sniper on them as well.
I feel like
one thing you do
overall
notice is that there are 2 night stalkers on each building as well. As you begin to see the night stalkers all sort of standing around, and then they all sort of cloak out of view.
what does a night stalker look like?
They are the Vlaka, but they are just the dark furred individuals that their cloak or their furs and sort of camouflage into the area around them.
They're the ones that were at the church, right?
Yeah, the ones that are at the church that were invisible to the normal eye.
I would like to make friends with all the snipers. I want to know them by name.
Okay.
That's it. I'm done. Oh, should I roll? Or is it just...
Roll perception for me. You know what? We'll take 20 because you'll be up there for a while, I'm assuming. So what's your total perception when with the 20?
27.
27. Okay. And then I will go ahead and direct message you all the names of the individuals.
Okay.
Perfect. The rest of you guys head into the chamber where each of the houses are represented, even though all of their guards are outside of the office. It looks like it's literally just the 5 leaders of each pack. As you guys go ahead and enter, the guards go ahead and shut the door behind you guys, and then form a wall in front of the door. You see a few moments go by, and you guys begin to see the metal grates begin to close over all of the windows. Similar to how you guys noticed they did whenever they were boarding up for the evening the night prior.
Is everybody here?
Thrawn and Ferrix are here as well, yes. If that's what you're asking.
All the Vlakas.
All the Vlaka leaders are here, as well as the group of you. It looks like, there's still a majority of people who are outside, sort of working around a perimeter or working around, or reaching out to like different people, trying to get a better understanding of what's going on, and the situation that they have at hand. But it looks like in this room itself is literally just the leaders of each pack. Var will go ahead and walk up. What is your plan? You guys have come this far.
Varg is the swamp pack leader.
Correct.
Did they all speak common?
No. Varg is at least with Zerat, spoke telepathically, but it was in common. But he is currently speaking Vlaka as it is their primary tongue. But at least for Zerat, actually, you guys know that Varg has spoken common before, because he did have a conversation with you guys. But he is currently speaking in Vlaka. After a short while, Thrawn will, if we could, everyone speak common who can speak common, that would be greatly appreciated. Varg. Yes, I forgot. You guys are not native to this planet.
What was your first clue?
The suits. A few moments go by. Thrawn speaks up. We don't really have a plan to get rid of the swarm, but that's why we're all here. We have different capabilities. Hopefully one of us could come up with a good plan.
Well, we need to figure out what everyone's strengths are and use that to our advantage.
Trawled sort of. It's the first time you guys have seen Trawled without like a puffed out chest. He's still rather large, but he doesn't look like he's showing off for anyone in particular like he usually does and make a show out of these conversations. We are good at... And he sort of stops for a minute as the common is very, very broken for Trolled. Hiding in plain sight and using that to our advantage. I'm not sure if or where they're located, but hopefully the element of surprise will be on our side.
As long as you keep a distance, that will remain an advantage. However, if you get close to them, your camouflage capabilities will be of no use.
Trod sort of turns his head a little bit. They have some sort of sense to pick up invisible or camouflaged individuals.
I do, so I can only assume they have some type of blind sense as well.
Trod looks at you up and down, looks over to Nash. How can we trust that he isn't one of them? Varn will sort of bite back. You stop with your accusations. You know exactly what this group is capable of. If they were going to be truly stopping us, they would have done it a long time ago when we were at our weakest, not when we were together as one.
That's very true. We were this close to being the lead of the Cold Claws.
Cold Call's leader looks over. What?
Yeah, never mind. It was a trial by combat. It never happened.
It's not too late.
Well, a little bit.
That's not quite. Anyway, it's true. These group of individuals took out a large group of swarm outside of Olaf. You could have absolutely wiped the rest of us out easily if they really wanted to. For all I know, you don't trust anyone outside of your pack, but that needs to end now. Ordan sort of raises his hands as they all sort of quiet down. This is true. We decided already that these groups of individuals are here to save the planet and ourselves. This ends now. We stop with the blaming. We stop with the accusations. This ends now. Vancer's second chancers. We are more resilient than typical Vlaka with our hide. The swamp hide is known for their mystical powers that no other pack seems to be capable of wielding. Night Stalkers are able to cloak themselves in plain sight, match their surroundings almost perfectly. Cold Claws. They are, yeah, they are capable of I wouldn't call it magics, as Dowers looks down at his claws. And you guys notice the claws glow a blue energy. It's giving enough time they can freeze entities. And then he looks over to Nash. Windhide, I'm not quite sure anymore. Nash sort of looks up to Ordan for a second. We are quite perceptive, extremely careful, and we have probably some of the most intellectual beings on this planet. Some of the most advanced, and we have the weaponry, as you guys know. So this is us. What about yourselves?
I'm gonna start slow clapping. It's amazing you all survived this long. That's it.
Thrawn will sort of point to himself. I'm leader of this group of yahoos, and I talk mostly.
I don't talk. but as most of you have seen, I can heal. I can deal out some damage when needed to, but that doesn't make me unique in this group. I start looking around to all of the other people with all these cool knives and swords.
Ferrex will. I also cast magic, but more of the damaging type. Also really good with sciences. Could begin to go back writing in the book.
I punch and I shoot and I fix shit.
It's like
I'm
at the.
mostly- Good.
Nope, you're gone.
Alright. I mostly just I like to sneak around and do mostly combat, but I don't really talk a whole lot. So tell me what you want and I'll do it.
You've already seen what I could do. You know the generator. Same as the android. All right, just lean back towards the door.
I'm just gonna slowly poke my head around whoever I'm standing behind. I shoot things very well and can use solar energy to make explosives, so I think that's pretty neat.
That might be helpful. What do we know about the swarm, where they're located?
Well, we have a hunch that they might be underground. Maybe we can take some of your stalkier people, perhaps in the night, to maybe find where their numbers are hiding and report back to us.
Have any of you fought anything like this before?
Nope.
I've only heard the stories.
Then what are we in for? Give it to us straight.
We're fighting simple monsters. If we can use that to our advantage, maybe we can get the upper hand. I'm suggesting guerrilla warfare.
The Blocka will begin to look around to each other. Do they have... I mean, we know that they change their appearance and gain new abilities when they consume something. Does that translate over to magical capabilities as well?
Depends on how you define magic, but all of your strengths that you all have, I would assume that whichever swarm consumed will also be able to replicate it. To what extent, I'm not sure. They also have the power, probably their greatest strength, is their communication. They are of one mind. If we hit them in one place, the entire planet will know.
Varg will step forward a little bit. You mean they're all connected?
Yes. I'm not sure if there is a way to sever this connection or how it works, really, but they all move as one. The first night we were attacked in the city, I heard the commands. I heard them telling everyone to surround the cities, to be prepared for nuclear weapons. And I haven't heard anything since.
Hmm. If they have the capability to have nuclear weaponry, we might be in a bigger issue than we thought. The Vlaka and myself, we have no capability of that kind, of that caliber.
Was
This
that
guy's a real
the
downer.
was that the leader of the Ironhides, or was that Varg?
That was Varg.
Are you saying Mulmer did not have any type of nuclear weapon?
Orden will look around. Radioactive, maybe, but far from nuclear.
Well, we're trying to keep the planet intact, so if we could avoid that at all costs, we should. I know that Varg was gracious enough to assist us in some ammunition that was highly effective against the Hugelschmorf. And from what I remember the first day here, the swarm did not take too kindly to the radioactive material either.
Hmm. That's good to know. Varg will look over. Do you still have some of those bullets remaining from the Hugelsmorph? Or did you guys use them all to slay the beast?
I believe we still have a few bullets left. Is that correct, Otto?
Oh yeah, we got quite a bit left. I think Freedom 11 has them.
They are currently in a very heavy lead container, I'm assuming in your guys' quarters. As a reminder, if you guys did not mark it on the character sheet in some way, you have 27 of them remaining. That's as good if they are not resistant to this, then it might help. Though Varg takes a deep breath. With the attack on Eric, there may be some resistances, as my pack has been around this radiation for many years. So there is that. I'm not sure how effective their change is or how fast they mutate, but something to be wary of as well.
Some of the swarm around Olaf had white fur. Take that's from the cold claws, correct?
Dowers sort of almost looks like he's you can tell he's paying attention, but he's definitely staring off. That would be a good conclusion.
Then anyone who has lovely dark green fur, maybe we don't focus on them with the radiation. You all mentioned your strengths earlier, but if it could help us, maybe we should focus on the weaknesses and how to exploit those.
And you sort of see all the Vlaka in the room sort of get uncomfortable a little bit. Ordan, we are extremely susceptible to the radiation that goes on in Eric. That's why we have extreme cases where most of our work is done by someone of swamp hide heritage. Varg will speak up. We don't do well with the cold, and we don't see that great. Trald. We
Are short?
Yes, exactly. We are susceptible to fire. Most of our technology is made so that way fire has nowhere in our village or in our town. Finally, Nash speaks up. It's for us. Our biggest weakness is similar to Ordan, as we are rather close lineage with the Ironhides. Radiation affects us differently than it does the rest of the packs. You see, it may be more effective against the Ironhides, but to us, it transforms us. It causes us to go into an uncontrolled state where friend or foe, it doesn't matter. Blood is what they're looking for. So if you have bullets that are radioactive from this material, I suggest not hitting someone of our lineage.
Thank you for sharing. This information will save lives. When it comes to tactics, however, my knowledge is lacking. I believe Domino, that was your strong suit, or at least the Vesks, as far as combat tactics.
Yes, I've been trained in the arts of combat warfare since a child, like all Vesks. And what we're dealing with here is our low numbers versus their high numbers. When I was suggesting guerrilla warfare, I was suggesting maybe we set up traps, ways to funnel them into a smaller area so they can't overwhelm us. I'm going to need your best geologists, cartographers. Where would be the best place for a fight? Keeping the environment in mind, where we can maybe use the environment to our advantage.
They all begin to nod. Ordan will look around the room. It's hard to tell where the best location would be. Obviously, you'll gain access to our best of the best, but we don't even know where they are, yet alone a place to set up an ambush for them.
Also, guerrilla warfare is only to maintain the war. You're not going to end a war with guerrilla.
That's when we have our scouts find where their queen is or whatever they're doing underground. We need to keep their major forces distracted while we send a smaller team in to strike their queen or whomever.
With their mothership right above us, ready to give them backup, can't really progress much down here.
We don't have any ways of taking our fight to the sky, do we?
Seem to maybe have our hands on some nukes. We just got to figure out how to send them up there. Or at least nuclear material to make nukes.
We know of one nuke underground. We think we know of one.
I don't really want to set a nuke off on the planet. I mean, above the planet, sure, but
Ordan sort of just looks back, and as you guys are sort of discussing back and forth, this queen that you just speak of, and this team of individuals that would go and assassinate this entity, shouldn't it be you? I mean, we have the numbers, we have the playing field.
Can I roll like life science just to see if I know if Swarm actually have a queen or if I'm just assuming?
Yep, go ahead.
What, life science cool?
Yep.
You're cool with that? 15.
15. Yeah, with the 15, you're not 100% sure. You're just making assumptions as
Just being racist. against thugs.
exactly. And as an
There
insect
they are.
race, with that is a hive mind that has to be getting orders from some leader.
They're going underground. Sounds like
Exactly.
ants to me.
Exactly. They has to have a queen. But you're not 100% sure. But, I mean, as far as you can tell, Ordan and the rest of the block absolutely believe that there's a queen somewhere underground giving all the shots.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
I think a mission like that, I think we're your best bet.
We will definitely need some help getting to her, though.
we still need to set up a guerrilla warfare team just to keep, our home base safe.
Agreed. Leaders, how many numbers do we have? Each one sort of begins contemplating, calculating. Nash will step forward. We have roughly about 850. Trawled. Roughly 1,400. Dowers. Roughly about 33. Varg speaks up. Of us capable of being on the battlefield, roughly 250. But we are able to keep another 350 here for medical and triage support. Everyone sort of looks to Ordan. We have roughly about 2,000 inside of Mulmer. I think first order of business is find where they're holed up at. Once you find where they're held up, we then set our ambush, as well as a group of individuals to protect the Swamp Hide Mystics while they are here. Once the battle is underway, what do you guys suggest? You guys go down the burrows? Do you guys have a way to get to the queen? And it honestly sounds like a one-way trip. But then again, it's been a one-way trip for weeks.
If I could get my hands on a shit ton of tech, I might be able to make some sort of swarm of drones to automatically map out the catacombs. But that's just a guess. I don't know if I'll have the right tech here to do it.
Nash sort of nods. I'll see what our engineers are able to pull for you. See what kind of technology we have available.
Thanks.
Is there any mining equipment that might be useful?
They all sort of look over to Varg. If there's mining equipment available, it'd be at Eric. But I know quite a bit of it was destroyed in the initial attack. We still have some mining equipment that we held there for us to continue our burrow. But that's going to take time to go back and forth between Eric and back, but I guess we don't know exactly where they are anyway.
Of all of the caverns we came across, there was this black ichor. Eric was the only town where that did not bubble up to the surface. Whether that just means that all the caverns that have already been dug out by the swamp pack has caused that ichor to divert, or maybe they are deeper down than everywhere else.
We did see that ichor fill many of our tunnels, but we are unsure of its make.
I can tell you it doesn't taste great.
Varg will... What?
I am a scientist, is what I have been told.
Did you have any ailments from eating said ichor?
Nothing of note. Nope. I wouldn't recommend it, though.
Duly noted. We are ready to assist in any sort of digging, as we are better suited for battle underneath the surface. But I still think a small group like the tall one mentioned, going for the queen, being our best bet. If there's multiple forces even underground, maybe we take the warfare to them there while you guys continue forward.
It's not a bad idea, but we still gotta find the queen first. We shouldn't just bumble around in the dark.
I don't think we would possibly be able to draw her out, so scouting is our best bet.
If I had to guess, I'm assuming the queen is probably not mobile. Probably just a whole defensive wall of form in front of her, if I had to guess.
These are all great points. That seems to lead below the surface. Nash will speak up. If we do have technology around, and drones for instance, won't they hear them coming? Won't they know? If they have this sense to even see and hear camouflage units, these drones are going to let them know that we're approaching. Varg, how far do your tunnels go? How deep? They go on for days from the epicenter. Multiple underground settlements. Ordan speaks up. I mean, do you think that they would have a burrow on the surface to head down, or do we think that Eric should be our location of where we should start this scouting party?
I don't know, Thrawn? What do you think?
I mean, they had to come up sometime, right? They had to go underneath the surface. And we saw the freakishly tall individual that leveled that building. That had to come from somewhere, right? Had to go somewhere. We haven't seen it since shortly after the initial attack. Means there's got to be a hole somewhere, right?
There was the giant hole outside of Mulmer.
You're right. Ordan. It's true. It's one of the few places that hasn't been completely covered. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe that's our in. Let's start there. Let's... Varg, are you able to take a group, head to Mulmer, see if we can begin to dig our way through the crust, see if we can make headway there. If that's where you want me, that is where I'll be, Ordon. Trald, send about 150 of your strongest with them. Stay out of sight and stay a decent way away from them to not be possibly discovered. Trald nods. Dower sort of looks over to Ordan. Ordan will look back over to Dowers. Your group will stay here and help protect the city. Nash, we have a conversation to have about this armor you discussed earlier. As for you, I believe it might be best if you guys went to Mulmer as well. But you're your own group. It's just my suggestion.
Are you assigning commanders to these different squads, like the Science Squad, Guerrilla Squad? Not us. I mean, your people.
It will be the leaders that you see in this room.
All right. Well, whoever's part of the Guerrilla Squad, I got some ideas.
Trod will nod to you. All right, you know your positions. Prepare to roll out within the next few hours. You see Ordan nod towards the door as Varg and the rest of the individuals besides Nash begin to head to the door and begin to exit the office. Thrawn will take note, look at you all. Let's give them some space. Let's go have a conversation of our own. And you guys go ahead and lead you guys back to your guys' bunk, which is currently empty. Most of the Vlaka are currently outside or beginning to have orders be given to them. So it is just you guys inside of your bunk. Thrawn will look around. So what we want to do? Head to Mulmer.
What? I don't know.
Probably our best bet. I mean, you know.
I don't have any other ideas.
I've already shit my pants just thinking about this whole ordeal.
Duly noted.
Metaphorically, shit my pants.
Oh, okay. I feel a lot better actually now. Thank you.
I mean, are we just going there to find said queen, or to make sure that they're even there?
I don't freaking know. I mean, you guys, what do you guys think? Are we just there to go and look to see if they're even there, or if they are there, are we wanting to take the battle to them ahead of time?
I feel like take the battle to them ahead of time so we don't have time to get scared.
I see this. I like the ideas here. Less scared is good.
I think we should wait, because we can plan more. You run in there to make sure you're not scared, you might be running into a trap. Plus, I highly doubt the queen is going to be. That was the epicenter of the fighting, right? Or is that just where there's a lot of concentration?
Who
The,
knows? They could have moved.
the hole that they were speaking of, it was just literally a large hole that you guys saw outside of Mulmer. That
On the
is,
way to the safe house.
yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, there was no besides like, I mean, most of the fighting happened during the first day, before or after you guys, or I guess during when you guys took shelter, and then after or before you guys went to go and hide away. So a lot of this has sort of happened very, very quickly in the first couple of days. But there was no sort of fighting or anything like that that took place out in the sort of open space between where the hideout was and Mulmer. Just was where a lot of the smaller burrows were, as well as the enormous crater-like hole that was in the center of it all.
Well, if we're gonna go, we should treat this more like a scouting mission and less like a reclamation or clearing. I'd rather be safe. Pull out if we have to. We have an army now, so we can,
Why don't we just leave the scouting to the Night Stalkers?
have them report back. If we do that, that means we can all start focusing on, helping with the cause. I can work on my drones. Maybe
I
we
can
do some
help with
healing.
drones.
True. The mages could do mage stuff.
Can look at some topography maps and start planning some traps.
I mean, Ferrex probably just do some biology and figure out mathematically where the queen is and just tell us. It's like
Weren't
measure
there,
dirt samples or something.
Weren't there burrows in the swamp hide office that we were in?
Yes, there were some burrows that were like directly into the main like city hall, more or less, from the ceiling.
So technically, people could go straight to the burrow part and get the whole big hole in general.
The only
Might
thing
be
we know
faster.
that's down in that big hole is a big monster.
Indeed, I mean, it didn't look like a Hoobastank or whatever that monster was, but
The hookah boop.
it doesn't mean that there's not multiple of them, and that it wasn't already infected or eaten by the swarm. So we
Wait,
wanna,
don't the swarm evolve by biologically taking from the planet and the creatures they kill?
as far as we know, not necessarily the planet, but more of the people that it kills and the consume. I think they just take the resources that they need from the planet itself.
Then yeah, we should definitely annihilate the Hoobastank before it absorbs it and they become swarm Hoobastanks.
That is a good idea. Do we have a way to do so?
Martyr squad members, as I stare at Ferrex.
Yeah, I probably could keep hitting it with spells until it exploded.
What about a poison? Or maybe a bomb? Do you know how to make chemical bombs?
Yeah, if we have the chemicals available, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, I could do it if we were at a lab or on a ship, but I don't know what Nash or anyone here has the capability of.
I mean, wasn't there like a really smart futuristic pact that we met? right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember any other names.
The Windide, yes. But I mean, I would have to guess speak with Nash and see what is available for us. I don't know what all was destroyed when they lost their power as well.
So are we talking about a hypothetical monster now? We don't even know what's down there.
I know, but the thought of swarm hoobastanks kind of makes me quiver.
Well, while they're distracted with the Hoobastank, we'll be busy with our mission.
Still got to find the mission. We have a mission and no zone to land in.
Well, as soon as Nash finishes up with his meeting with Ordan, I'll try to see if there is any sort of chemicals or anything like that that they may have. I mean, Sonny, you make things explode with energy. Can you just do that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it kind of depends on the circumstance.
Like, you could just walk up, snap your finger, and do like that explosive thing that you did in the tunnel or in the catacombs. You can just do
Yeah.
that again, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you just do that, then Ferrix doesn't need to go and try to create a chemical explosive.
I mean, I don't know what one would be better. Obviously if the chemicals aren't available, yes, I can do this. I just don't know which one might be able to do what we want it to do.
You just have nuclear capabilities at a snap of your fingers?
It doesn't take like 3 rounds of charging the boat or anything.
From what I've heard from a secret DM, no.
For some of them are able to. Not all modes can activate instantly. If they have like increments, like the first increment is allowed like once per round. But if it's like one that has to be fully charged, you do have to be within combat to be able to activate it.
I'm reading.
You tell me she needs an adrenaline dump.
Yeah, she needs to fight someone for at least 18 seconds, and
I
they
need
can
somebody
cause.
to just start going off
I
on
mean,
me.
we
It's
just
like if
have
her-
Domino just beat the shit out of a flower.
I will die.
I have a plan C. We know that Zurat has made a connection with them in the past. Maybe if we can devise a way to rekindle that connection, link Zurat up into the hive mind.
What if it corrupts him, though?
One more swarm to kill.
Impossible. Wait, what? I forgot. That's how it works in the Starfinder Society.
No. You shouldn't be okay with that. This man talked about killing you.
Oh, I just thought that's how it worked out here.
No, you're
Make
not going to
friends,
die.
lose friends.
Okay? No die.
When he loses his mind and tries to kill you, you're just gonna let it happen.
Genetically impossible.
There
What do
go.
you... Okay, hold on. Before we have this hypothetical of I will not kill my friend, what do you mean impossible?
Well, the Sheeran, when we broke away from the swarm, there was some type of mutation, and that allowed us to break away from the hive mind's control. So I don't think it's possible for me to be retaken over.
But would you risk getting your head caved in by a Vesk with that knowledge?
What?
If you're wrong, this man's going to kill you.
Oh, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Okay. Your culture just amazes me.
At that point, Zurat is gone, and now Zurat is the swarm.
If my life can potentially save this entire planet, it's worth it. For
I
science.
guess that's a pretty heroic thing to say.
You would all do the same, I'm sure. Or maybe it is just our culture.
Yeah, You guys are pretty cool. But how would you even connect? Can you connect? Do you know how?
I only received messages. I didn't try to talk back. But I can try to tap into the frequency. But they would definitely know that we're coming. Or at least looking.
We're obviously going to be looking.
I mean, how can you not look? They're everywhere.
So we just gonna start prepping?
Let's put it to a vote. What are we doing?
Fair.
Prepping, scouting, or throwing Zerat to the wolves?
Thrawn's like,
I think we
let's
should do all three.
leave the last one for absolutely plan C. I don't think we throw anyone to the wolves, because that seems a little racist for the party that we have around us. But two, I mean, it may not be a bad idea for us to prep first. Find out what we need to find out from the scouting party. And then so that is going to be my vote, is preparation.
I vote prep, and I'm gonna work on drones. Freedom? 11 after the freedom? Freedom 11?
Yep, freedom of the 11th and the truth, and I also agree with prep because let's build some shit. I'm ready to tinker.
Kali? Zura? Sunny?
I think prep would be the smartest.
Yeah, we can prep. If we need help out, I can help you out too.
Let's get down to business.
I vote we scout.
To defeat
Oh shit, I lost.
the swarm.
Fucking montage!
A few hours go by where Nash finally becomes free of his conversation with Ordan. And Egg walks over to you and lets you know that they do not believe any of their drones survived the EMP attack. They are still looking to see if they can find any that may have survived it, but as of right now, they have no current drones or any sort of technology that could be used to build or rig up to be a drone for looking into or scouting.
I mean, we just need parts.
It almost like talking to a person who is literally just told what they're told and don't really know a whole lot about technology. Let me go talk to Nash and see if there's parts available. He made it seem like it was not possible, but I will double check for you.
I'll come with you.
Okay. During this 2-hour downtime, is there anything you guys would like to do shortly after having your team meeting of prepping? I know 3 people are going to be assisting on drones or doing drone work if there are drones available. Zerat, Sunny, and Domino. Is there anything you would like to do within your this 2-hour time span?
I'm going to start calling a rank among the packs and getting a super group of lockout trap makers together.
Okay. How many people are you looking to have in this death squad of yours? And do you have a preference on how many from each pack?
We'll gather the people looking for places to have the final showdown.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start discussing those areas and we're not going to make any decisions until the scout come back. But
So you just want to go and have a conversation with cartographers and people that would know the layout of the land.
Yeah, I'll start there.
Okay. Zurat
War deep.
and Sunny, what would you guys like to go and do?
I know that I would like to either speak with Varg or Nash or possibly both to
Mhm.
see what type of items they could provide for antidotes, because poison is a pretty big killer in some of our previous fights. So now that maybe that Mystic is feeling better, I don't know if they can help out or if the Wind Hides have some type of, we were talking about chemicals and stuff earlier, so just seeing what's available on that front.
As you have that conversation with both of them are available because neither of them are going on the excursion. You both find out that Varg, the Mystic, one of the big things is that the Mystic was on a verge of coming up with a antidote to the poison that has taken so many of the Swamphide Vlaka. And she had most of her notes were all sort of in her head and didn't have any sort of way to write down or keep track of exactly what's going on. But with the both of you guys together, with her knowledge, you guys are able to go ahead and begin the production of some antidotes. It does call for some ingredients, so I would probably say 8 hours worth of gathering would have to be taken care of to try and get all the materials necessary, at least for each person in this group to have a poison antidote. But if you're looking for like vast production, it would probably take days of gathering to get all the materials needed.
And I would definitely take Ferrix and then have him, consult with the Mystic, try to get some of that stuff into writing, as I'm sure he would love to have, and then I'll do what I can to gather.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a. Go ahead and take 20 on survival. Just tell me what your survival is if you roll a 20.
All right, survival 30.
30. Okay. While you go ahead and begin to have that conversation and that preparation, Sunny, what would you like to go ahead and do during this time?
I kind of just want to walk around where other people are, not necessarily stealthily, but if I could go unseen as much as possible, just to hear what kind of chatter is going around and get a feeling on what people are saying, their feelings as to what's happening.
Okay. First, go ahead and roll stealth for me. And are you looking for a particular try or a particular pack, or are you sort of just looking throughout?
Looking throughout, because I also want to see like if it's kind of blended or if packs are staying to packs.
Okay.
Stealth would be 25.
25. Okay. And then go ahead and roll a perception for me as well, please.
Fart.
I don't know what that number equals.
Hold on. I can't tell if it's a 6 or a 9. It's a 9. 17.
17. And that's a fart, guys, just by the way. As you, I mean, people people see you, they sort of like, I mean, they know who you are, especially after the introduction that was given by the pack leaders. But they don't seem sort of to mind. You can definitely tell a lot of the packs are still staying within their own pack. It's not as blended as much, unless they are working on particular projects that their pack leader gave them to work on with another pack. But a lot of it is mostly people just sort of chatting around until given orders, and if they're chatting, they're sort of within their own pack. A lot of the packs are definitely talking down onto the Cold Claws because they're so small in size, at least like population size. It gets not as extreme as they want the pack wiped out, but maybe it's time for a stronger leader to take over that pack, and possibly overtake Olaf. But that's the only like negative talk that they have going around. A lot of people are concerned. There is a lot of what ifs or a lot of variables that are currently flying overhead, and that causes people to worry. They don't know exactly when combat is going to start, when's it going to take place, and a lot of people are starting to wonder it. Also, you begin to hear conversations of why this random group of individuals took it upon themselves to save this planet instead of just saving themselves. You guys almost overall, no matter which pack you go to, you guys are brought up multiple times. There is some discussion on whether or not the Sheeran can be trusted, but it's nipped very quickly from one or two individuals sort of like show some respect. Like these group did a lot for us and is continuing to do a lot for us in this planet to save us. But it's definitely something that's brought up over and over again throughout the time of that you're sort of wandering around the city in this groups of individuals. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. The three of you engineers go and head over to Nash. And he discusses with you guys that the only way that you guys would be able to thoroughly make the drones that you guys are requesting for scouting would be to begin to take apart vehicles that like are land vehicles that they have working that they've repaired. So you guys would either have to take, if something does happen and there's a war to begun, it will take longer for the war, like for people to roll out to the fight, versus having the surveillance with the drones. So it will be a sort of a toss-up on your end whether or not you guys want to have vehicles to be able to transport, or if you guys want the drones for surveillance.
I think we've got enough transport for us. Maybe not the whole army, but I think the drones are more important. I mean, we could always skip on the drones and go with, the mind meld, but I don't know if it's worth risking our Zerat.
Nash sort of looks confused over at the discussion of mind melding. If you guys need to take some time, think about it. Roughly, with the technology that we have here, one vehicle, at least of our packs, will be able to make 8 or 9 different drones with the battery capability as well as the materials required. They'll be smaller, but they probably will be quite loud. So,
could I make them smaller?
Probably can make them smaller. It'd be an engineering check to be able to just like
the thought that my brain was thinking of was like the Nat drones from Shadowrun.
Probably not that small. Just because they don't have necessarily the technology here to be able to power something that small.
I just mean like that general idea of like just sending out Nat drones.
Yeah. It probably like because what Nash was sort of thinking is, and he even pulls up an older drone, and it's about the size of a football that he has. So he's like, I mean, the vehicle with the parts, the wiring, and the energy source probably could make 9 or 10 of these. Maybe a little bit more if you make something smaller, but I mean, you are able to fix stuff that our engineers weren't able to. So if you guys would be the ones capable of doing it if you are.
Just given my expertise, not my choice. That's the captain.
Well, Captain isn't here currently, so bring it back to him, discuss, and I will be setting up a war room in the office for us to be able to discuss things.
Okay.
At this point, you guys do hear the sound of multiple vehicles begin to depart. As multiple vehicles begin to head over towards Mulmer in that direction to go ahead and begin that scouting party with the groups of individuals. You guys do see roughly about 300 Vlaka begin to head that way. Different houses, different races. Trald does go, as he is the head of that investigative party. And that is where we go ahead and take our break. We will see you guys in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and come back at 10:35 Eastern Standard Time. So we got a 6-minute break. See you guys in a little bit. And we'll be right back. Hi, hello, we're back. We're here. Minor recap, because this might be the easiest recap besides the combat episodes. The group all, met up in the office, and the discussion took place of weaknesses, strengths of each pack, and what that might mean for possible encounters with the swarm. A plan of investigating a large pit took place, and the group finally went ahead and began to go and do that. As you guys all met up in the bunk area and discussed yourselves what exactly you guys wanted to do going forward, whether it was to go and have that exploration outside of Mulmer, or begin to prep for what it is to come, no matter what happens next. As you guys were going ahead and helping in different ways, Zurai and Ferrix went to go discuss with the leader of the Swamp Hide, as well as Nash, the leader of the Wind Hide, discuss a possible antidote and what it would take to go ahead and get that production started. Domino went to go talk with some cartographers and people who know the lay of the land, to go ahead and see exactly what is the best place to set up ambushes, and to go ahead and possibly set up traps, all of that nonsense. The three engineers went to go and discuss with Nash if there are drone technology available, or if there is parts that could be used. After some conversation, discussed that was excuse me. It was discussed that you could go ahead and tear apart some vehicles to go ahead and create said drones. Roughly one of the large transport vehicles could be transformed into roughly 8 or 9 of these football-sized drones that could be used for surveillance. And Sonny went around and looked through the crowds of Valaka as they were preparing themselves, and sort of see exactly what the vibe was going around, and discovered that most of them don't really care for the Cold Claws, and what small numbers they have, they should probably just be overtaken by someone else. And that you guys are held in a very high regard as people who definitely didn't need to, but they are thankful that you stepped in to help save the planet. Domino, after you had the conversation with the cartographers, depending on where the attack takes place, they all suggested that outside of cities would probably be one of the best places, just because when most of them are using if, but a couple of them are using when the battle is over, they want to go ahead and try to keep whatever civilization is already intact, so that way they can go ahead and begin to that process of rebuilding, and there's plenty of open space between each city. So if they could set up in options for it to happen in or outside of cities, that's what they would prefer. As they are sort of looking over some of the maps and stuff they're showing around, they have almost, it's like a lower image of, and it's all not virtual reality, but sort of augmented reality, a hologram that they have set up in this middle of this room, where they sort of show an overlay of what it looks like in the winter or in the summer months, with the high snow ridges and everything like that they sort of kept track of, as well as where the holes were and stuff of that nature. As they began to sort of go from their paths, each of the cartographers, and you have roughly about 2 cartographers from each pack. So each pack is giving their specialized area and sort of knowledge of their part of the planet. Where
I'm also going to need someone to translate for me. So maybe find out. I just need one Vlaka that speaks common.
Actually, Dowers would be there, and be in the process of being able to translate for you.
I was gonna say, if not, I can hang around and do it for you.
Cool.
Dowers, you're my assistant. I'm going to need coffee and a donut, and then come back with a pen and paper.
Okay. And they begin to walk around and try to find whatever you just discussed, or try to start asking around exactly what is a donut. But Sonny, you are there. And we'll say that this is before your discussions with, or what your overhearing was. But more or less as they discuss that, obviously outside of reach of the cities is what they're wanting to go for. But as they begin to overlay the two, between the summer and the winter of this planet, a lot of the ridges that existed, and you guys saw what looked like large hills of snow off in the distance, that even some of you even traversed, began to either melt away, or all it was just a lot of compact ice and snow that just sort of built up. And then once it became into the warmer part of the year, it began to melt away. So it's just a lot of it becomes more of open area. One of the biggest pieces that is the most open is the area around Mulmer, where that giant crevice is. That is the most open flatland area. There is still a mountain there, but they did say that they did discover there is some sort of magic inside of off that is being portrayed on the hill, that they're describing at a location. Sunny and Domino, you guys both recognize this as the hideout, where you were attacked, Sunny, where you guys first met the Zool. But that being said, they said it was an issue for a different day. But that hill is still there, but it almost makes a C shape with this large hill that goes into an open dome, and at the mouth of the C shape is where the hole is, with that large crater. But otherwise, it is completely desert landscape. The whole area between most of the other major cities do have some sort of hills, but it's mostly ravines. It usually actually goes the other way, where there's just, from different points, there is just 15, 20, 30 feet drop-offs that come back up onto the other side and continue forward. You guys have even, looking at some of the path, Domino, you've drove over some of these large ravines, but because of the snow and ice and everything else, was flat land for you guys. So the area is different than what it looked like when you guys were traveling around the planet. But they do show the entirety of the planet, and you do see roughly about 3/4 of the planet has not been. It's just all black, as they sort of take it and show the portion of where you guys are currently staying.
What's beyond the charted areas?
We don't know.
You don't get out much.
Not beyond what our packs usually require of us.
There could be more of you.
There could be. It's definitely possible. Surprising, but definitely possible. I mean, if there's more out there, then and the Ironhides sort of perk up a little bit, and Mulmer would have known about it. We'd have trades with other cities on the other half. We assume it's just a wasteland.
It might be worth sending out a scouting party that way too. Nothing large. Just a group of explorers.
What size do you recommend? And
5 people? 10 people?
How far out?
They should just go until they find help. We're not going to miss 5 or 10 people. But they might be the difference between our low numbers or becoming a substantial force.
Very well. You see one of them, one of the Ironhides begin to take leave. But it just, the other two from each pack besides the Ironhides, you guys continue to discuss around. Go ahead. What skill would this be?
Survival's navigation, or I guess maybe piloting. Piloting is navigating.
Right. I would go with survival. And then, Sonny, if you want to assist, you can go ahead and roll survival as well, and let me know if you get over a 10.
With or without the modifier?
With a modifier.
I rolled a natural one and I don't have a modifier. It looks like
There you go.
the same thing as last week is happening.
Just pointing to wood grain on the table. This place looks interesting.
What's happening?
I got 22.
Okay.
Good.
As you're sort of discussing with the other cartographers around this, the best places for like an ambush, at least for the known area, either the dig site in Eric would be a good position if for some reason they began to come up out of, like, through the tunnels and up out of Eric. Would be a good ambush position, as well as just the main hole that the group is currently going and looking at now. But they could also go ahead and set up in that C formation. They could set up a bunch of snipers or long armsmen to go ahead and look over that pit as well.
Yeah, I'm going to point to a few of these places. And as we're finding them, be like, that sounds like a good idea. We could do this, we could do that. You know, as we're looking at these locations, we're also kind of brainstorming at the same time. What if we... How far away are these places from each other?
Well, this
Hours?
days between Mulmer and Eric.
Okay. Then, so I'm just going to keep brainstorming ideas for each location, but we're going to wait until we hear more of like a closer idea of what we're going to be doing later.
Okay. The rest of you, your plans to go ahead and take place for your planning. Thrawn did decide that maybe one vehicle worth of drones would be enough. And Um, that he gives you guys a heads up to go ahead and begin that process. Kali and Freedom 11 both go ahead and roll engineering checks. Let me know if you get over a 10. These will go ahead and be able to stack for you their auto. So if they both succeed, you will get a +4 from them.
Nice.
You guys keep talking about real dice, so I guess I'll do it.
Yes. Did you succeed on that?
No.
Did both of you succeed?
Yes.
Nice. Cool. Add a +4 to your engineering.
Big yes-o.
God damn it. I rolled real dice and I have to do actual math in my real brain.
Compared to your fake brain?
Well, my fake brain is right here. I'm too tired to really do this. So +4?
Yeah, +4 on top of your engineering.
Total of 35.
35. So the smallest, after spending multiple hours looking over this, the smallest you could make the drone would be roughly about the size of a tennis ball.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You could go ahead and make 15 of them with the parts that you have available. So you have currently 15 small surveillance drones.
Quiet or
You're going to make me actually spend time to program this software, aren't you? God damn it.
With the three of you guys helping take apart this vehicle as well as creating the drones, you're looking at a full 8-hour workday of taking apart the parts you need, also coming up with the model for it.
8 hours?
Oh, full 8 hours with the three of you guys working full 8 hours on it.
Okay.
So, for creating this automatic software, am I going to need to roll computers?
You will have to roll computers, yes.
This is where I test to see if Kali or Freedom 11 has
I can help you with that.
better computer knowledge and or tell me your numbers. 3, okay. Kali?
19.
Oh, I didn't
What?
roll a 3. Sorry, I get a
No,
plus.
I meant your modifier. Tell me your
Oh, sorry.
modifier.
+2.
Looks like I'm still doing the roll.
You're rolling, but I totally succeeded for you.
There we go.
So, big ol' assist.
Oh, I don't think we're doing the software right now. I was just wondering.
You can go ahead and
when
roll
we
it.
do the
You can roll it.
software.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do software.
Okay, well, I assisted you with software.
Okay. +2.
Can assist?
Kali?
Yeah, Kali, you can go ahead and assist as well.
I got it.
Nice. +4 for computers.
Total of 30 then.
Okay. With the software, it's going to take some time. Roughly 2-3 hours to create the software between the three of you. So at about 12 hours in, you guys will have the 15 drones that are have the program inside of them. So make sure someone puts down a character sheet. I'm probably JJ because he's probably the only one that can actually control them. 15 drones that have the technology implanted. After 8 hours of gathering, you said you had a 30 there, Zerat?
Yes.
Okay. 8 hours of gathering, you're able to go ahead and get enough materials. You're joined by quite a few of the Windhide, as well as the Mystic from the Swamp Hide, who's sort of walking and sort of arm in arm with one of the Windhide individuals, sort of guiding her along the way, telling her what she needs and stuff like that. But after the 8 hours, you have barely enough materials to get enough of the antidote for each person of your crew to have a antidote.
That reminds me. I would have given. We have 8 of those health serums.
Mhm.
So I would have given everyone one of those. 7 of you.
So this brings up a point. You have 8 serums, and you technically have 9 members of the party. Did you want to give Denver one, or did you want to give Sunny one?
I'll give one to Sunny because she's right here.
The same goes for you, Zerat. You have a choice to make between Sunny or Denver. You have the materials for it. You still have to go ahead and actually help them create it, which will be a life science roll.
And if you fail, forget this conversation ever had it.
All right. Well, let's make the life science roll first. See how well that happens.
Yeah,
Or do you
then
want me
we'll
to
see where your alliances lie.
take 20 or roll it.
That is up to you. Do you want to take a longer approach to it, or do you want to try to get it done as quickly as possible to work on something else?
These are pretty important, so I'm going to take a while to do it.
Okay, go ahead and take 20 for it on your life science.
24.
24.
I feel like Denver would agree.
After roughly about 2 hours worth of crafting, being walked through step by step on the first couple before sort of getting a knack of how to create it, you go ahead and you have 8 viable antidotes.
I will. I'll go ahead and give everybody one, except for Thrawn.
Okay.
What's this called?
It is a antidote.
Is this homebrew or is this real?
Homebrew.
Yeah, it's definitely homebrew.
I also have a question about the software, real quick. I guess the drones in general. Is this like network live feed, or is this like we'll download the data once it comes back?
You'll have to download the data once it comes back.
Okay, then I'd like to program in automatically, like if it bumps into walls at a certain whatever, it'll just keep going. But if it comes to any resistance, something that like came at it faster, or something like like it senses
Projectile.
people like projectile, or it senses like actual like bioforms, it'll just fucking hightail back.
Okay, not an issue.
Cool, I'm done.
Also, this is that antidote is a level 3 antidote. So it will give you a bonus of equal 3 plus 3. So a total of 6 to your saving throw against that poison.
The swarmtidote.
Yes.
Do you want to just so there is an antitoxin, which is you get a bonus equal to 3 plus the tier.
Yeah, that's why I was reading it off of.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. And then also Donnie did put it in the chat, but for those of you at home, the healing or serum of healing is 2d8 HP. It is not stamina, it is HP. So make sure that you guys know that. A full day has gone by between planning, engineering, gathering, listening. A large meal is prepared once again.
Do I notice that 3 of our party members are missing from the meal?
You notice one of them is missing.
Oh, who?
Denver's missing.
Okay, never mind. I didn't know if they were working on the drones or not during it.
You know what? Yes, actually, they would be still working on the drones when this meal is being had.
Okay, can I make up some servings and take it to them?
Yes. So 4 of them are missing. So currently, you, Domino, and Zerat are actually the only 3 people at
And now I
this.
look like a heifer because all my elephants are just holding extra plates.
Exactly. Which is no.
Mama's got a big stomach.
As you go ahead and begin to carry out all these plates, you definitely get some looks. As I don't think you've extended these out around them before, so everyone's sort of just like, as you have these tendrils coming off your back and holding these different plates, they're all just stop staring and looking at you, then go back to eating their food. The 3 of you, you guys do see Sunny bring you guys a plate of pretty good meat.
Aw.
Thanks,
Thanks.
ma'am.
Yeah, I thought you guys could use this. You've been in here all day. Kind of stinks.
I resent that.
Did we
Just
switch
gonna
it to
drop
open
them
or
and
open?
slowly back out.
You look around for a while, Laura, and you do not see Denver anywhere. You look throughout the entire building practically. Everywhere that you could think of, Denver is nowhere to be found.
I'll head back to the meal hall
'Kay.
and find Domino.
It's pretty easy to see the Vesk in the room.
Probably stuffing my face.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna just kind of get in the chair next to him, but have you seen Denver?
No.
Oh my god. Lean back so I don't get chunks flown on me. Alright, well, I can't find him anywhere. I was gonna bring them food, but I don't know where they are.
Did you ask Otto?
No, it was really hot in there. They were doing a lot of work. I didn't want to stay in there longer than I had to.
Well, maybe is there a truck depot or something? I bet they're over there.
Oh yeah, probably just gambling money or something. Alright, it's fine. They'll find a way to eat.
It is still instead of the large table where people are surrounding the table eating, it has now sort of been revamped to have multiple different tables set up to allow for these large group of people. You do see there's like almost like a serving line where people just grab a plate and then go and sit down somewhere. As you guys go ahead and eat, finish up on your task at hand, you guys go ahead, turn in for the evening. Sunny. It is dark. You're by yourself.
Come on, man. I just got back.
And you see a familiar looking mask off in the distance.
Like, am I awake?
No, it feels like you're awake, but it's just a completely empty black void.
Where was I last?
You were last sleeping.
Like, so I was in my bunk last.
Yeah, you went
you
went to bed, and then the next thing you know, you woke up and is a large black void.
Alright, I'll go ahead and try to walk forward to it and just be like, can I help you?
You continue to walk towards. Nothing seems to get closer.
I'm just gonna take a seat and look at it.
You sort of plop down, look at it. It begins to get closer and closer and closer. until it flies closer to you. And then, out of nowhere, a bright light shines behind you, showing a bunch of these entities that you saw earlier that looked about the size of Denver's height, sort of surrounding you. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them that were hidden in the darkness.
They're behind me?
They're completely surrounding you.
Oh god. I'm just gonna try to not look at any of them in the face. And do I see the mask still?
Yeah, the mask what had a smile on his face. You begin to see his mouth is wide agape as there's light is just shining everywhere from behind you.
I'll just look at it. I beat you once, I can beat you again. Your scare tactics won't work.
You begin to see the light that is showing from behind you sort of drop almost like from the sky, still behind you, but now the light is coming from equally where you're sitting. Instead of like overhead casting a shadow down on you, it's now like behind you casting a shadow.
Can I get up and walk towards it?
Towards the light or towards the mask?
Towards the light.
Yeah, so you get around so you turn around and begin to walk towards the light. When you walk or turn around, you see a large individual, roughly maybe a little bit taller than Domino. But something you do realize is that you see large claws, draconic scales, and large wings.
Oh! Is it anything I've ever seen before?
Absolutely. No, because you haven't. Roll just a straight wisdom.
I don't trust any of my rolls anymore. These are all my D&D reject dice.
Well, I wonder why.
A straight what?
Just straight wisdom. So add your
wash the
wisdom modifier.
Oh, sorry. I have too many things open.
Or I will also allow a life science roll. Your choice.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
You're
I'll
good.
do the life science since I can't find the wisdom. 18.
18. You've seen a couple of these in passing. You don't know what they're called, but you've seen a couple of them at Absalom Station.
Were they like aggressive when I saw them?
No, they just looked like normal people.
And he's just standing in the light?
He is emitting the light.
I guess I'll go towards him.
As you get closer and closer to him, you actually begin to make distance closing. But the more you walk closer and closer, you begin to feel peace, warmth.
I think I might die. I don't want to go any closer, but I don't want to look afraid and back away, so I'm just going to stay where I'm at. What do you want?
Both of them at the same time say a choice. As you sort of can see, the mask has flown and is roughly about 25 feet behind you. As you're sort of equidistant between these two entities.
Between?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want me to choose? Is this choosing life or death?
They don't respond.
If I walk towards the mask, how does it feel?
Feels normal. It doesn't, like, you begin to feel like it's more of like a a room temperature. You don't feel that warmth or that comfort. It just sort of becomes normal.
I don't trust either one of these. I guess I'll walk towards the guy.
The one
The-
emitting the light.
Yeah.
As you walk closer to the light, he reaches his hand down, crouches down next to you, almost as if wanting you to step onto his hand.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like pat his hand with my hand.
He sort of, you see a warm smile creep across his face as you see him sort of look up, and then with a single blast from his hand, you see the mask shatter behind you. You wake up in a just absolute downpour of sweat. But the first thing you notice is that there is a new symbol wrapped around your neck.
Like, engraved or like a necklace?
It's like a necklace.
What is it?
It's a symbol of Zune.
Ah, hells yeah. Alright. I got a new Lord and Savior, guys, and he likes me. I'm gonna try to go back to sleep.
You roll over, and almost moments later, you're just out like a light. You wake up, and it's like you have that racing heartbeat, and then you sort of just think about what happened, and just the thought of it and what you experienced sort of just calms you down, and you just sort of roll back over and fall back asleep. The rest of you wake up the following day. You guys hear Vlaka being, for the lack of a better word, barked in the background. If you speak Vlaka, it's just different people giving commands, sort of just overlapping with just the chaos that is the preparation. But the thing that really wakes you up is the sound of roaring vehicles pulling into the city.
I'm gearing up and getting out.
You guys would go ahead and armor up, head out.
After breakfast, of course. Gosh.
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
come on, we're not heathens. I'm God chosen.
Well, let's calm down.
Still, any sign of Denverino?
Denver's bed looks exactly the same way that it looked when you went to bed.
If we're all walking out at the same time,
Well, it sounds like Domino's heading to the sound of the trucks compared to
Domino,
some of you
calm
guys
down.
are having
Hold
breakfast.
back. Domino, I need to talk to you for a second, please.
What is it?
I'm kind of worried about Denver. Gonna be honest. I thought I had a nightmare last night, and I think I chose between life or death. And I got to live, and I'll just hold out the holy symbol. I'll be like, I had to choose between Zune and the mask, and knowing Denver, I think they would have chose the mask, and I don't know what that means.
Sounds like a bunch of nonsense.
Well, okay, I thought I would tell you and be a caring friend. But
Well, you look great.
Thank you.
I'm sure Denver just got the nerves. They just died.
I mean, I just figured I would put it out there since we haven't seen them. We might want to keep an ear out for anything that happened that was weird.
They were a big fan of Big Spooky Space Mask.
I'm aware. I was too. But I was changed.
So you think you're some prophet of Zune now?
Hells yeah.
Are
I'm
you
sorry.
Sure about that?
Zunia. Anyway, you can go along your way, Domino.
Got a lot of work to get done.
Sunny, you catch up with the rest of the group as they go head to breakfast. Domino, you step outside, and the first thing you notice is a lot of the Vlaka are heavily injured. Vehicles are heavily damaged. You knew that roughly about 300 Vlaka left. You count roughly about 175.
I'm gonna run towards them, and I'm gonna look for whoever's in charge.
Trolled.
Perfect. So I run over. I'm gonna yell in Vesk to Trolled. What's the status?
They were waiting for, I don't know if they were waiting for us, but as soon as we got there, they came flying out of that hole. Literally flying out of the hole. And raining down some sort of acid.
Why would they be throwing acid on the ground? Is it at you?
Yes, at us. And you've fought similar swarm that had the wings, and had the acid attacks that they were spraying towards you guys.
So they knew you were coming, or heard you, or saw you.
Your guess as good as mine is. They just seemed extremely prepared.
We might have to go looking in the tunnels then. If the surface isn't safe.
I've never seen anything quite like that, but we'd even get to our destination of where we were going to split at. They were ready, almost like someone told them ahead of time. It's just staring daggers at you.
I know what you're thinking, but no, I trust them. You aren't thinking what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Do you have any... Who would have defected? Is there maybe someone from an outside pack, or maybe one of the other packs are trying to get ahead of the others?
By taking down our only shot of saving this planet, it seems more likely to be your swarm buddy than anything else. I mean, how much do you actually know the guy?
Not much, honestly, but he's pulled me out of a rough spot. And I have no reason to believe he would be working with the swarm. I don't even think he has any other Sheeran friends.
I don't know what a Sheeran is, but...
That's what they're called. I don't know. It's some swarm thing. Back in my day, we all just stuck to our own kind.
It sort of huffs and just sort of heads into the city hall to go speak with Nash.
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. Murmurs quickly pick up as you guys begin to hear the different Vlak as you guys are having breakfast, hearing that the group returned heavily damaged, heavily injured, and quite a bit of Vlaka lost already. as you guys see in the background, Domino and Trald sort of begin to head towards the office as the other four leaders stand up, excuse themselves, and then begin to head that way as well in a rushed manner. Domino, you, Trald, and the other four individuals show up, go into the office, and Trald demands that you actually don't understand what he said, but he's screaming something. As the door behind you, the metal shuts. Same with the windows.
Drop out combat. Let's go.
Exactly.
I challenge the Swarm Queen.
As it closes off, a conversation begins to unfold in front of you.
I'm just gonna sit back against the wall and just blend in, blend out, I guess.
They go ahead and continue the conversation. From time to time, you see that some of them will look over to you, continue the conversation. Ordan will speak up. Domino.
Lead off the wall. Yes.
Zerat. Trald says you don't know him very well, but you trust him.
That's correct.
How much do you trust him?
I'd die for him. They saved my life once, and if we were in combat, it would only make sense for me to rescue them in return. We spent a lot of time together, physically. Not like that. I mean, we were on this ship.
The vodka began to like.
We spent time together on our ship, through the drift, to other planets. We've both experienced similar situations. And he trusts me as much as I trust him, but I know that he risked his life to save me once.
You don't think he's capable of what Trald is suggesting? Even if coerced?
I don't think they'd have a reason to. We know that they had a connection to the hive mind when they first arrived, but...
Wait, we're just finding out about this now?
I thought that was shared with you. Well, we already suggested trying to rekindle that connection, but they don't think it's possible. They heard the warnings about surrounding the city and to load the nuclear weapon.
All of them begin to eye you up and down as this news is being given to them. If we go back, we go in full force. I'm not sure what the tunnels and Eric have to hold, or how long we'd have to dig is another concern too. Varg will charm up. We'd be at least 4 or 5 days of digging before we could make it to that burrow next to Mulmer. Or then I don't. Maybe it's a call for your captain or you guys to discuss. If that would be a better option to wait the 4 or 5 days or an all-out ground assault.
I think a ground assault is out of the question. That would be a slaughter.
I think either way, this is going to be a slaughter.
Start the digging, but keep it to yourself.
I mean,
If Zerat doesn't know, then you have no reason not to trust them.
Varg sort of speaks up. So, in a week's time, we'll be in the pit after roughly 2 days of travel to Eric and 4 to 5 days of digging. But if that's what you suggest, it is what we can do. I can send my swamp hide back to keep digging at the most efficient it can be.
I'll tell Zerat that we are planning another scouting mission to another hole. If the swarm defends the other hole, then we know that Zerat maybe they're compromised against their will or with it, but at least that will be ruled out.
Indeed. Ordon, are we okay to continue? Ordon sort of sits back, rubs their neck. Yes. But keep some of your mystics here. We don't want to play our hand too much for the rest of the tribes to know what we're doing. Yet alone some people we may not be able to trust yet. Understood. As the metal begins to rise, door begins to open. Varg walks out, and you guys hear a loud, familiar howl as Varg howls, and all of the swamp hide at the tables begin to stand up and leave.
I'll go search for the crew.
Yep. Sitting multiple, there's now multiple open tables, but your crew is now all sort of sit together inside of a at one of the tables, sort of just eating breakfast. You can definitely tell, everyone could tell that everyone roll judge intention. Yeah, that's the word, right? Is that it?
Sense motive?
Sense motive, that's the one.
What is it, Shadowrun?
I just got rid of sense motive to get judge attention, and now we're back to sense motive instead of judge attention.
14.
Natural 20 for a 29.
Okay.
21.
Domino?
14.
And Otto and Kali.
I didn't know I was rolling. I thought I was being sensed.
Oh, no.
I only got an 8.
18.
18. Everyone besides Otto, you guys can all sort of tell that the mood has sort of changed with all of the Swamp Hide leaving. Those of you who speak Vlaka, you begin to hear murmurs of, are the Swamp Hide leaving? Are they thinking that they are better off after what they found, just to go back to their hole in Eric? What exactly is the next step? Is you begin to see Domino re-enter and sort of plop down next to you guys, as you also see the rest of the pack's leaders sort of stand off in the side, all sort of nod, and then go sit where they were sitting prior.
I spoke with Varg. Trald. I spoke with Trald. Right? Who did I speak?
Technically, you spoke with all 5 of the leaders, but originally outside you spoke with Trald.
Trald. The scouting party didn't work out very well. It's almost like the swarm knew we were coming. They attacked on arrival, apparently, and wiped out a pretty substantial number.
Does anyone need medical attention?
They might. I'm not sure if, given the circumstances, they'd want it from you.
Are they
They seem to
thinking?
take the attack personally.
Are they thinking he's a leak?
Maybe. But they've definitely heard of or overheard them talking about the swarm. And the one in our crew might be one. That said, they're sending another scouting party to another hole.
So they're not leaving for good.
No. They'll be back probably within 5 days.
I mean, if we've got time, we can make some more antitoxins. Be more prepared for this next scouting adventure. Or maybe use Otto's drones. What can we do to help them out so this doesn't happen again?
Well, they threw acid. The swarm did. When they flew out of the hole, they apparently dropped acid on the scouting party. Trald wants to lead a full-on assault. Or one of them wanted to lead a full-on assault. One of the others were ready to start digging from Eric. I told them that a full-on assault would be a slaughter. Just look at what it did to the scouting party. But we'll see what they learn from this other whole expedition.
They weren't able to find the queen or anything. It sounds like they didn't get very far in this scout.
Sounded like they had just arrived when they were ambushed.
Well, if there were Night Stalkers devoured, it's possible that the swarm have developed some type of cloaking technology as well. They're able
That
to
is
see them
possible.
coming from miles away. Or feel them coming, if they can sense vibrations like I can.
Perhaps. It could also be a defect or Vlaka or pack. maybe seeking an opportunity to become the head pack once all this is over, but can't tell.
I've been trying to listen to the talks around from different people, and I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard rumors of some wanting to take over Olaf, but nothing like being head pack. But I do think someone needs to talk to all the leaders and let them know that they need to talk to their people and keep them up to date with what the plans are, because sooner or later they're going to be losing soldiers because they have no idea what's actually going on.
Might be good to get ahead of the repercussions of half the scouting party dying.
Could the scouting party use some of the drones that you guys made?
Does that program have
Ooh.
like it's auto run, or do we have to control them?
I mean, we could probably program to follow different squads, but I mean, we're still mapping out the Undercroft or Cove or whatever is down there, right? They can't
Catacombs?
catacombs. Is that what we're calling them? I don't know.
Plenty of death down there.
But I don't think we're anywhere near being done with that, right?
I mean, the code and everything's written. Everything is like they are functioning, ready to go. But I mean, you just have to send the drones out and begin that process.
I just thought we had them, we made them. I just figured we sent them there.
Oh.
But yeah, no,
I
I guess.
Let me go ahead and make some rolls.
I mean, if we have the capability to have eyes in multiple places, spreading out the drones between the 3 scouting sites, maybe sending one to go find Denver.
Good.
Once they see that Denver's gone missing, they might start suspecting that he's working with the swarm. They're working with the swarm somehow.
They're already questioning why we're helping, since we're just a random group.
I don't understand why the fuck we would go through all this trouble to bring all these fuckers together. Sorry, excuse my language. But why would we bring all these people together just to get them all killed?
I mean, it doesn't make sense to us, but they're
It's-
skeptical people.
We should probably clear the air. We're not there to help them. We're here to get off this planet. And the only way to do that is to help them.
They don't know that.
Maybe
This
they
is
should.
now personal. I want to help them. Show them wrong.
I mean, after what a lot of them did for me, I would like to help them.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
we're going to help them. Thrawn speaks up. We've got this far. We will continue to do so, especially until we at least hear back from these 3 scouting parties or Otto's drones. But we don't know how long that's going to take. And as painful as it is, we must keep ourselves busy. At this point, Zerot, you hear a familiar voice. Part 1 has been completed. Initiate the plan. Now.
Guys, something's about to happen. I just...
Bathroom's that way.
Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry, not that. And then in everyone's head, I heard it again. Part 1 is complete. The plan is now being initiated. We don't have much time.
seem to be very selective in when they let you hear the mind, the hive.
Or maybe it's just being broadcast to the entire planet. I don't know how it works, but
We need another race here that has limited telepathy.
what happened to the Zool, Sonny?
They all died, right? Was that all of them?
Yeah, there was only the 3 of them that you guys met, and all 3 of them died in that combat.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Should we tell some of the commanders that you're hearing this? Maybe they won't think we're keeping something from them.
Shits and giggles. Did I notice anyone else kind of like perk up or anything when I got that message?
Nope.
I think we should keep this to ourselves. Doesn't change the plan.
Does it? You said it would take days for whatever mining operation to happen. Do you think we have that long anymore?
It was days for the scouting party to return.
Do you think we have that time anymore? That's what I said.
Yeah.
What mining operation?
This is awkward. I gotta go. Where's that bathroom?
Some
You
bees.
think-
What?
I mean, do we have time to do all this scouting now, or should we just go for the big hole?
Well, I think if we go to the big hole, we'll just be wiped out quicker.
At least we'll have a planet.
Domino and
Great.
Zerat roll a perception. It is not visual, but sense.
28.
14.
28, Domino. Shortly after Zerat asking if we have time, you begin, because of your heightened senses, the ground, very subtle, you can barely feel it, begins to vibrate.
Do you feel that? Ground's vibrating.
We need to move.
Gather your things.
Everyone's sort of Thrawn and Ferrix begin to sort of hurry and finish out their food and begin to head to their bunk to go ahead and begin to gather their things. At this point, you guys begin to all. Are you guys assuming guys are getting armored up and stuff, or okay? I'm assuming you guys are going in your regular armor and not going to Nash to get the armory armor. Is that correct? Or which way do you want to go?
I'm just heading outside to see what's happening.
You head outside. You notice all of the swamp hides are frantically looking around. But the other Vlaka that are outside working either on patrol or anything like that don't seem to notice anything. You hear Varg yell, not in a language you understand, but all of the swamp hide began to run back into the building. As Varg looks at you, Domino nods, and begins to run back inside.
I'll also run inside.
Okay.
Tell everyone that looks like everyone's running inside. Let's get to the vault. No, Nash would have told us that.
Varg runs over to the leaders and begins to say something off in the distance. You guys, with just passively listening, aren't able to hear exactly what they're talking about. But you begin to see Nash walk over to you guys in a trying not to be rushed and trying to keep a low profile, but you can definitely tell he's hurried. It is time for you guys to go downstairs and prepare. Something is happening. The swamp hides can feel the whole planet begin to vibrate just a few moments ago. Go down to the armory, collect your gear. Once you guys come back up, we will send our guards to go and do the same.
I'll look over to Domino, then back to Nash. The swarm are moving forward with their plans. I heard another broadcast. I don't know what it means. We need to be prepared.
Nash puts his hand on your shoulder. Thank you for letting us know. Just know that not all of us think you're bad. Sort of taps your shoulder and begins to walk past you towards the office. As you all begin to follow suit, you guys all head into the office. The doors shut metal again, and the floor begins to descend into where the vault is. You guys now all have access to your Vlakin weapon and armor. Donnie, I know you were having contemplations about swapping. Did you want to? Okay.
No.
I figured. I just wanted to ask.
No.
You guys are able to go ahead, so you guys can go ahead and equip those armor pieces if you haven't already, for your different armor weights and stuff like that. As you guys begin to rise back up, all of you begin to feel the walls and the elevator that you guys are currently on begin to shake really hard and then settle down as it finishes up at the top. And that is where we'll go ahead and wrap up our session for this evening.
Gear up.
Exactly.
Woo.
Suit up. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. Really do appreciate it. Fantastic session, guys. Seriously.
Agreed. Good job.
Super excited for next week's episode. So make sure you guys are here because I have a feeling stuff is going to be crazy. Going around the room real quick, we'll go ahead and talk to our content creators. And then we will go ahead and do our small little blurb that we do about the podcast and the YouTubes. And then we will go ahead and sign off for the evening. We will go ahead and start with Thrawn. I will go ahead and do Thrawn's or Travis's. Check him out over at Stonefeld or twitch.tv/Stonefeld Analyzes. They're currently in the process of playing quite a bit of Apex Legends because he's trying to set up to go into a tournament and stuff like that. So make sure to check that out. He'll be streaming that soon, TM. So make sure to check that out. Next up, we have JJ.
I go by Jay Robin on Twitch. I mostly play FPSs and I stream when I can, so few and far between.
Love it. And then we have Freedom 11.
Hey, hi, hello, Raka here. I'm glad you came over here, and anybody from my channel better follow J Brews as well. We are live 5 days a week, every day except for Tuesdays and Thursdays, playing either Stardew or Prop Night. Who frackin' knows? Whatever games decide, to actually work.
Thank you. I just slightly died a little bit. It's fine. And then last but not least, we have Donnie, who sometimes streams games.
That's actually good. Maybe this should be my new Twitch handle. Sometimes streams games. Yeah, sometimes I streams games. Over at twitch.tv/Donnie streams games. I'm trying to get through Pathfinder right now, and then I'm gonna play some more fun action games. I promise. Stay tuned to We Run the Stars for more information. I also upload the podcast edition of We Run the Stars every Monday, wherever you listen to your podcasts, whether that be Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever.
Speaking of, also Mondays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we upload this over to YouTube and have a premiere. So make sure you guys go over to youtube.com/jbrews11, where we'll go ahead and upload that. One other thing, a lot of people don't know, Donnie not only uploads the podcasts, streams, works, but he also...
I do have a job.
Yes, he does have a job. But he also creates our thumbnails for every single episode over on YouTube. So thank you so much. Just want to give credit where credit is due. Because Donnie does just amount of this show production-wise that I do. So we also do stream here, again, typically about 5 days a week. We typically take Wednesdays off. Either that or we're playing Phasmophobia with the youths. So make sure you guys check that out. We will be putting Tarkov content and Phasmophobia content over on YouTube as well. And then last but not least, we do want to thank Paizo. We are partnered with them and getting content out to you guys. They go ahead and shout us out. So we want to return the favor, shout out Paizo. They were awesome and able to help us get into Gen Con and stream it there. So fantastic opportunity for us. Make sure you guys go check them out over at paizo.com. And thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. We are going to go ahead and sign off for this evening. We are going to find someone to raid, but please do not go anywhere because we'll be sending you guys somewhere. Have a good night.
Hey, we're streaming next week?